The thing that separates the Nintendo Switch from every other platform out there is the fact that you can play both docked and on the go. That had been a feature that I didn't really utilize a whole lot up until this point. But in January, I made it one of my Switch resolutions, New Year's Switch resolutions, to go ahead and play more handheld mode. And I have been having a lot of fun doing it. Some games I much rather play docked. Super Smash Bros. Is a perfect example of that. I just love playing with the Pro Controller. I'd rather play that docked. But today we are going to talk about my 5 favorite games to play in handheld. And guys, trust me, I have been playing handheld so much lately that it is honestly kind of reinvigorating my love for the Switch. Don't get me wrong, I always love the platform. I make videos about it every single day. But today we are going to talk about the 5 that I found work especially well in handheld mode. From the moment that Wargroove got announced as sort of a spiritual successor to Advance Wars, I knew that playing this on the go was going to be absolutely perfect, and I was not wrong. I love getting through the campaign here. I've even begun messing with the campaign editor a little bit while just lounging about on the sofa or while I am cooking. I do a lot of really weird stuff while I am cooking, but that's another topic. In the meantime, we'll talk about Wargroove and how perfect it is. I've actually found it to be quite a mellow experience for me. The story doesn't take itself super seriously. There isn't some cataclysmic event or anything like that. It's more about these warring factions and oftentimes misunderstandings that happen between them. The gameplay is super cool in my opinion, and it's perfect for handheld because you can put it down if you're cooking or whatever. I keep going back to cooking. Anything you're doing, it doesn't require your constant attention. You can even put it down while the enemy's turn is happening. You're not supposed to do that because you kind of got to pay attention to what's going on, but I do find myself coming back to this one more and more, specifically in handheld. It is perfect. You can create your own campaign and share it with anybody else, even if they are playing on other platforms. The package that you get when you purchase Wargroove is so complete. You have single player, you have level and campaign editors, you have online, and it's really sweet. For how fully featured the game is, the price is absolutely perfect. And yes, handheld is my favorite way to play Wargroove. I'm playing it almost exclusively handheld now that I'm not recording anymore, and I see that going forward in the foreseeable future. We've even seen some super creative people start to make Advance Wars itself in Wargroove. If you haven't seen that, go look it up. It's absolutely bonkers what they're doing, and I can't wait to see how much more creative people are going to get with this game. I love every minute of it when I am playing it. The next game we are going to talk about is Nintendo's big game for January. And January is over now, but I still find myself spending a lot of time with New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. I love the Luigi content. I love the challenges that I never experienced the first time. And if you didn't experience this game the first time, don't listen to people that say it's too easy, because there is some challenge here if you know where to look. Now, playing handheld with this, I had to take a little bit of time to get used to it because the D-pad on the Joy-Con isn't the best. I usually just use the stick now, but one of the reasons why I enjoy this one in handheld so much is because I have a little cousin that comes over and we play games sometimes. He's very young, he's about 3 years old, and he's just now starting to play these games, and it's simple enough that he can have a good time with it. And honestly, I've been having a good time playing this game with him. It's not always handheld particular. Sometimes we use a little kickstand or whatever play stand I have available, and we play with single Joy-Con right next to each other. It's honestly like really fun. It almost feels like a Nintendo commercial, but hey, it works. Nintendo did make sure that moments like that are possible with the Switch. And if you remember, the new Super Mario Bros. Franchise was already on 3DS before, so it does work perfectly for playing handheld. Next up, we are going to talk about a franchise that has always lived on handheld devices, and that is Pokemon. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee came out, and I really enjoyed it actually. Getting to play through the gyms that I played when I was a kid was actually super cool, and it is also perfect for handheld. You can even throw the Pokeball without motion when you are playing in handheld mode, and that's perfectly fine for me. I prefer to throw the Pokeball that way. Yes, there was a lot of changes that maybe people didn't want. Maybe Pokemon was simplified a little too much, but we have a core Pokemon experience coming sometime later in the year. And if you haven't played Pokemon Let's Go, maybe you've been not really interested. I still think it's a really fun game and a legit entry in the franchise. Now, I don't have it in me to go hunting for all those shiny Pokemon. I tried, honestly, and it's just such a process. It wasn't my thing, but like Wargroove, I feel like this is one of the games that you don't have to give your full attention to, and you could just be shiny catching or shiny chasing while doing other things around the house. The game looks absolutely gorgeous on that screen. This is the best that Pokemon has ever looked, and I can't wait to see what the next version of Pokemon is gonna look like. This is one that I primarily played docked, but I did love the handheld experience so much, and now that I mentioned shiny Pokemon, maybe I'll give that one more go. Maybe there is a little bit more shiny hunting in my future now that I think about it, and I promise you it's all going to be done in handheld. I feel like the post-game and Let's Go lends itself perfectly to this type of playing because you get to go fight all those master trainers, find all the locations, and get a single Pokemon for each one of the trainers that is going to be strong enough to defeat them. Yeah, definitely a good time. Celeste absolutely stole my heart when it was first released. To this day, it is probably my favorite game on Nintendo Switch. Yes, I believe I love Celeste a little bit more than Smash Brothers, and that's not to disparage Smash Brothers. I love Smash as well, but Celeste does storytelling in such a perfect way, and it touched me in ways that a side-scrolling platformer just... I could never dream that I would feel what I felt when playing Celeste. It tells the story of accepting yourself, and there's a lot of self-doubt that's entwined within the storytelling. I absolutely love it. I can sing the praises of Celeste for days, and I won't do that here, but I will say it is one of my favorite experiences to play in handheld. Now, like with most other platformers, you're going to want some precision, and the D-pad with the Joy-Con isn't the best, unless you have a mod that fixes the D-pad for the Joy-Con, because I know that that's out there. I don't have that, so I did play with the stick for the most part, the left stick, and I honestly got used to it after a while, and I have no problem playing through Celeste like that. You do need some precision to get through some of these levels. Some of the B-sides are absolutely insane. Getting some of those strawberries is not the easiest thing in the world, but man, look, I went back and played a little bit more Celeste in preparation for this video because I was going to talk about it, and the feelings I got while playing it, they are still unmatched when it comes to gaming on the Nintendo Switch. There are a ton of fantastic games, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, so much out there on Switch that's fantastic, but I think that Celeste is in a world of its own, at least for me personally. But let me know what you guys think about Celeste in the comments below. But yes, I love Celeste, and handheld is a fantastic way to experience it. Definitely one of my favorite ways to play this game. This one absolutely caught us by surprise. Leading up to release, we saw a lot of very reputable people say on Twitter that Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom is super awesome and that it was one of their favorite games of the year. So you know I had to check it out for myself. It is a side-scrolling adventure game. There are puzzle elements that are really fun as well, and this one is perfect for playing handheld. It is a side-scroller, and I know that there's another side-scroller on the list, but this one is absolutely worth your time. Each one of the different monsters or characters that you can change into has different abilities, and those abilities do help to solve the very many puzzles in the game, and they are super cool. The story is like very simplistic. You're just trying to stop your uncle Nabu from spreading chaos all over the world, and you know there are reasons why he's doing it, and it's a fun little story. The gameplay is really cool as well, and those puzzle elements. It is a beautiful game on that screen. It lends itself perfectly to being played in handheld mode, and once I did finally get my hands on it, I was so surprised, and I could see why people love Monster Boy as much as they do. I've yet to finish this one. I'm still working through it, but I've been moving, and now that I'm situated in my own house now, I'm going to have way more time to dedicate to Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. Make sure to check it out if you haven't already done so. You will be in for a treat. If you like Wonder Boy, this is kind of like a sequel series of sorts for the older Wonder Boy games, and they did a phenomenal job with this one. So there you have it. Those are my favorite games to play in handheld. Obviously there's way more, you know, honorable mention to Sega, Mega Man. There's a bunch of stuff on Switch that is really good. Mario Tennis Aces is also a lot of fun in handheld mode. Any game really, but these are my favorite ones that I have been playing, and I don't know, maybe give them a try if you haven't done so. What are your favorite games to play in handheld mode, whether it be in bed, while you're waiting for appointments, doesn't matter. How do you spend most of the time on your Switch? Let us know. Comments below. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video or found it informative. Maybe even hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our other content. We appreciate each and every single one of you. Twitter link is in the description. Follow us on there for giveaways and more shenanigans, and we will catch you on the next one. SwitchForce out.